Hey guys, it's Melanie here. I'm going to be talking about decluttering your mind by decluttering your bookshelves. Now, I'm at home, I have a busy family, you will hear them in the background. I can't edit that out, I'm sorry. They are full of life and full of fun and just, they're my kids. And so yes, they may interrupt, but that's just how life is. So let's talk about the books. Now, I just wanted to give a little backstory of this. So I'm really purging. I'm going through a huge purge right now. I'm trying to only keep books that I really want to have. I have a lot of books. Like, I've already unhauled hundreds of books already. Hundreds. It's a bad habit. But I wanted just to talk a little bit about this because I think it's a huge subject that you know, it can border along the lines of hoarding when you have too many books, but at the same time I find great comfort in these books. They are part of who I am. I have stories of when I was buying them. It is what it is, you know? We hired a carpet cleaner to come in and do our carpets for the upstairs. And I have two parts of my house now that have books, and each of the children's rooms have books. So the point is that I hired this person and him and I were discussing the problem we have with books. I don't know if you guys been to Home Depot, but there is a large box and a medium-sized box and a small box. The box I'm working out of today is a small box. The other one I had was a medium-sized box. As we were discussing, we were chatting about a little bit about ourselves and like ADD and how clutter affects us and we can't think, we can't focus, and because dyslexia is very similar to attention deficit disorder in certain ways, I was able to really relate to him. There was a room in my house that I ignored completely. This became like, why am I not addressing that room? Honestly, it's because of the clutter. I wanted to have peace in my home. And I didn't want to avoid going into that room. I wanted to enjoy the room because that's where my books were. I was really always kind of feeling icky and it's right when I first walk in the door. So like as soon as I would walk in the door, we walk past the office/den and there is my mess to greet me every single day. It had to get dealt with. I have some time right now and I have been on a purge to declutter the house for my own mental health and the mental health of my family. And so that was my mission. That's what these books are from. And I will show you a video clip of how beautiful that room looks now and how organized that room looks now and how inviting that room looks now. And I'm gonna tell you, I wanna be in that room. I wanna enjoy that space and I want to pick books off that bookshelf because it's not a mess. I think it's almost like a reflection of who I was at that time. Like I was a little bit chaotic, I wasn't dealing with things. Now I'm in a state where I'm like, no, I don't wanna be that kind of woman. I wanna be a high value woman. I wanna be a woman with integrity. I wanna have peace in my home. And I want to declutter my mind. The point of these books is to bless me, to bring me into adventures. I enjoy it as a peaceful activity. So when I see that, I avoid it instead of it bringing me peace. It's creating this anxiousness, this anxiety, this stress that I'm trying to avoid. So dealing with it made me feel amazing, and that's where this unhaul comes into play. And I want to encourage you, if you're stressed out by any of the books that you're having, it is healthy to get rid of books that maybe you're just not going to read or people have given you that you're not interested in reading. I was keeping them for different reasons and just feeling so good about letting them go. It was hard at first, but it was very relieving to me in the end, just to be honest with myself, be honest with the fact that I'm not keeping these books and not worry about what anybody else would think. Here we go. So first up, we have these two books. They are by Bonnie S. Calhoun, I think. And As much as I actually admire this type of storyline and this type of story, there are some content issues with these and I just didn't like them as much. Selah is the main character's name, and I have a beautiful friend named Selah and I adore her. And so every time I read this book, I always thought of her. That is something I will miss about these, but now they need to go. These 3 books here were given to me and they are not in my forte of interest. This one here, actually someone I know wrote this. Her name is Amy Mae James, and she was an acquaintance of someone I knew actually. And so she had offered me this book. I won't be reading it because it's just not something I'm quite interested in. This one's Abba's Promise, 33 Stories of God's Pledge to Provide. I think it's an incredible book, but I am just not wanting to keep it. This girl, she actually is a editor, and she edits people's books and works, and that's how I actually met her. So she sent me out this copy. I've read a bit of it, but I'm not going to keep it. This was given to me by my dad, and it's just not something I'm really interested in reading at all. It's more based on spiritualism as opposed to Christianity, and that take of it, it's The Power of Now, or A Guide to Spiritual Enlightenment. It's not in my forte of interest, and so I'm not going to keep it. There was a whole set of these that I bought when I was homeschooling. They are quite detailed. I just thought there was a better way to approach it than this, and so I got different books at the time and since have passed those on to other homeschooling moms. So this one can go now. I picked up this little series, not many of them. Lindsay really loves this series, but my children just didn't pick up on it. I only have one girl. She wasn't interested enough to keep these, and she's now getting older, and so these aren't something that I'm going to keep. I'm going to pass them along to someone else who will enjoy them. My dad gave me this. He loves this series like so much, but I'm just not into this one. I think it would be really cool, but I'm just not into it as much as he is. I want to read other books instead, and I keep not picking this one up, and it's been a couple years. So I just need to get rid of this one. Also, I just want to say really quickly, just because I'm unhauling books does not mean that they're not good. It means that I per se am not that interested, or I've already read them and I don't want to keep them, or it's that I need to declutter. I only have so much room, so I'm going to pick the books that I really want to have on my shelves as opposed to just keeping books for the sake of keeping them. It leads me to this book, Dr. James C. Dobson, You Can Do It Guide for Hassled Parents from America's Best Loved Family Advocate. Parenting Isn't for Cowards. I'm going to get rid of this book and someone else can enjoy the knowledge that's in this one. I had a dear friend who also really liked this series a while back, so I actually started to buy it thinking that my daughter would also like it. She didn't, so I'm not going to keep it. It's The Heartland, Healing Horses, Healing Hearts After the Storm, and if she liked this I was going to get more, but she just wasn't really interested in this series at all. So this is a really cute series though, and they turned it into a TV series, I believe. This is a book that I read. It was given to me by the author, I believe. I can't remember actually now, but it's Reintegration, Ashley Bogner. It was quite an intense book, and do you hear my kids in the background? They're so funny. It was actually a good read. I had some notes in here I went through for her, just giving my take on it because that's what she had asked for. I'm going to let this one go, and I want other people to read her work just in case other people haven't read it, because I think this is a self-published book author, so it would be nice to kind of get this into the secondhand store that I go to, that everyone goes to here in this area, and see if that can be given some love from someone else. Silence in the Darkness by Patricia Badley. I've read some other work from her that I did enjoy, but this one I wasn't as interested in this one, so I'm going to pass this one on. Then we have this. Somebody gave it to me thinking I would enjoy it. I did not, but yeah, I'm going to unhaul it. Then I also got this by the author. This is The Crowd, a novel about fitting in and standing out by Elise Baltz. I think I did actually enjoy this. I can't remember. This is going back quite a few years, but Again, I haven't picked it up. I don't know where I was in that, but my camera just told me I had no more room, so I had to go through and delete everything. So here, let's continue. I am going to unhaul these two beauties. Now, they have a lot of meaning to me, this set, because I read them with Angela from Coffee and Chapters, and she's now gone to be with the Lord. So they meant a lot to me, and I held on to them for so long. And the reason why I held on to them wasn't because I loved them so much, was because I read them first with her, and they were something we both were excited to read because it was something we were interested in to do together, and they have a little nostalgia. This one is a bit of a hard one for me to let go of, but if I were really to be honest, they weren't a series that I was totally in love with and that I wanted to keep on my own. And so she's been with the Lord for a few years now, and so I think it's time for me to let these go. I forgot to tell you guys a little bit about what these books are. So it's The Bachelor Girl's Guide to Murder by Rachel McMillan. These are one of her first books she's ever written, I believe. It's kind of like a Sherlock Holmes, but with women in Toronto. So they're actually kind of cool. And my painting is of Toronto, which is really funny because Rachel McMillan, she actually posted a picture on Twitter, and it was this shot.
Like, well, not like this, obviously, because I painted it differently a little bit.
But it was literally of what I saw when I was traveling. But I'm going to pass these on to someone else that will love these books. This one here is kind of bittersweet as well. I have some nostalgia with this. When I first became a Christian, this was something I was really just changed my perception of dating and relationships. It really moved me a lot, and it protected me from a few things that I got involved with. But it also gave me some false precepts of what a relationship really is. It's funny now looking back because he's actually denounced his faith just in the last few years, or a year or something like that. Joshua Harris, I Kissed Dating Goodbye. Yeah, that one's just, I don't know what to say about this. I feel awkward talking about it. I have like mixed feelings about this book now that I look back on it. And because of that, because it doesn't give me any joy or peace, I'm gonna get rid of this book. So this beautiful book here is a book from Joanna Alonso. She's a sweet, sweet girl. And so part of this for me is when I give these books away, it's not because necessarily I don't like them. Some of these books, for the reason I'm giving them away, is that I really want other people to know who these people are and maybe give them a chance. So again, with The Sacred Scarred, a modern day Christian twist on Beauty and the Beast, she is a independent author. She is an indie author and indie published, and the purpose of this giveaway is so that other people could read her work. So I love this book. I do want to keep it. She has another cover that I think I might purchase her book one day, but I want to give this one away for someone else to enjoy the book. This book here is actually really, really cute, and I had a hard time wanting to get rid of this one because I personally like it, but my kids weren't into it, so I need to get rid of it. Anyways, I actually think I like this more. I need to get rid of it now. I need to grow up a little bit. So again, with this book, I had it on my shelf because I think I bought it for me more than I did the kids. This is book 3. I wanted to get the book 1. I think these got into a movie or something and we watched it with the kids, and I didn't really enjoy it, so I wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy the book. And I also didn't realize that how much of the gods were involved and that kind of stuff, which I wasn't really interested in. Time to move on. This book here is like literally, I have like another copy of it. Diane Gist and Mark Bertrand, Beguiled, a novel, and wow, it's super dusty. Anyways, this book is needing to go because I actually have a copy of this. I still haven't read it yet, and I actually am interested in reading this, but I don't need 2 copies. Someone else can have this beautiful book. This here is from Melanie Carlson. I love her work. Actually really admired a lot of her work from before. So I wanted to read these works because of the fact that I was into that genre, wanting to write that genre. For me personally, I didn't want to keep reading these series unless I was going to be writing them. It's always good to read what you want to write. I love Melanie Carlson, and I have a lot of her other books that I really, really enjoy, and I'm really looking forward to this one book that's coming to me, and I'm so excited about it. Can't wait to tell you more about it, but this just wasn't something I wanted to read. time for it to go. Then I have this book here, and it's The Last Martin by Jonathan Franzen. I really wanted to try a book of his, and I picked up this one. I didn't really enjoy it at all. This is definitely a case of not enjoying the book and wanting to get rid of it. Hopefully someone else, this is their jam and they love this kind of thing, and that they'll pick this book up and enjoy it and have it forever. This book here I had got given to me from the actual publishing house. They gave this one to me, I believe. It's the Recruits novel, Renegades, Thomas Locke, but I had not realized that it was a part of a series, and this being the second book, Renegades. So because of that, and because it's a science fiction book, there's just so much involved in this book, and I couldn't like grasp it or imagine what was going on, and so I really needed the first book, and I wasn't that invested into this book to get this first book. So I do like sci-fi, I do like books like that, but just, I don't know, it wasn't pulling me in where it should pull me in. But I just have to say, really quickly, Revel, they have the best books. I am like a Revel fan because a lot of their books that they publish are like amazing, and
listen to that sound.
It's like a wave. Why? Because it's a floppy book.
And I love floppy books so much.
So they make floppy books, and they have my heart when they do that. I have no idea why I got this book. I have no idea. It's just way too confusing even looking at it. There's just way too much even going on with this, right? It's the Edible Selby. I don't even know. I think I picked it up as a secondhand thing. Okay, I'm like, even the first thing, I have no idea why I did this to myself. Pickled tongues, calf heads, sweetbreads, always in stock. I couldn't get the format. Like, a lot of the cooking and the writing was like this. For someone who already has trouble with reading, I found this to be very challenging, like way too personally challenging for myself, and I just need to say goodbye to this one. It causes me a lot of confusion and stress. Okay, and the next is a huge series. I have literally every book in this series, but I've never read them, and I've never been interested because I watched the movie. This is a time where a movie has definitely wrecked my reading. I have had no desire to pick these books up at all since I've watched all the movies in this series, unfortunately. Okay, this literally this literally is the entire series of The Left Behind. It's a lot of books. Like, I don't even know how many are in this series. Okay, so this is literally the series that is from The Left Behind. And this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 books. And then this one's going to Lindsay. That's 15.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39,
40, 41, 42. So that's what, 42 books that is going to be unhauled. Boy, do I feel so good about that. It really, really helps to keep things clean and orderly and organized. Yes. So that's it for this book haul. I really hope that I encourage you to not be afraid to get rid of books for multiple different reasons. I think in all, it was a positive experience to be able to just get rid of these books, be able to enjoy the space that I'm in, and all the books that I do actually own. I hope this is encouraging to you. I hope you enjoyed all the video clips that I have in here. I think it's really important to enjoy the books that you really do enjoy and love, and then pass on books that you actually want people to love and enjoy, and maybe not always hold them for ourselves. So yes, if you want to watch the next video where I chat about what I read in the month of March, you can check out that video here. Bye.